You're listening to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast.
Welcome to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. And now your host, Meliss-Ep.
Hey, hello. I'm excited today. Today we're talking about podcast scheduling, and it's exciting because I have a podcast, and I wonder how many of you guys have a podcast, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about the scheduling of a podcast so that if you do have a podcast or you're thinking about starting one, you will get an idea of how to schedule your content. And what's really cool is that if you don't have a podcast, you can use this information as well to help guide you in your written content or any other type of content that you create. So the way we do the podcasts here at Meliss Marketing are a few different ways. One, we have audio podcasts like this. This is where I am sitting in my podcast area and recording with my Blue Yeti microphone. And I'm just talking freely. I don't have notes with me. Sometimes I have bullet points, sometimes I don't, and I'm just sitting here and chatting it up. So this is an audio podcast, and you probably know when I'm doing an audio podcast because it sounds a little bit different, maybe a little more clearer. We also do podcasts that come from our visual content. So if I go live on Facebook, whether it's on my personal page, my business page, or somewhere else, maybe a Zoom call, something like that, we convert that into audio files and turn that into the podcast that you listen to on all the ways that you stream a podcast, with the exception of our YouTube channel, where if it is something that we've downloaded from a live video that I've done, we will keep the live video footage and put that as a YouTube video. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you will see that sometimes you click on it and it's just audio, and sometimes you click on it and it's video. So that's a second type of podcast that we do. So first comes audio just into the Blue Yeti microphone. Second comes video that we've converted the audio into a podcast. And you'll probably recognize the way those sound too. They may sound a little bit different. Also, if I record the live video from my laptop on Facebook as opposed to using my cell phone, then I have to use an app in order to do that. And when I use an app on Facebook, sometimes what happens is certain words, just random moments in the live video, go silent. So you might hear the podcast when it's been converted into an audio file where I'm just talking and I say something and then one word is omitted from my sentence. You're like, what just happened? That is what happened. That's the Facebook native live video app that allows you to go live on Facebook from your laptop. So there's pros and cons to it. Of course, it's nicer to go live on Facebook. You can go live, from your laptop, you can go live across many different groups at one time. Sometimes you can screen share, I believe. That may not be true. You may have to use Zoom and then use your Zoom membership if you pay for the elite version to allow you to stream it into a Facebook group. But nonetheless, when you go from your laptop, sometimes it will omit some words. Now, when you go live on your cell phone, it doesn't do that, but the quality is a little different, or whatever the case may be, you don't want to do that. So that is another type of podcast that we do. And when we schedule these out, what I like to do is sit down and batch my content. So once a month, I record all of the podcasts for that month. And on a regular month, that's about 8 podcasts. We may not have a podcast for a holiday weekend, or we may have an additional podcast for some reason, or whatever. Or there may be 5 weeks in a month, so whatever. So there are, on a regular month, 8 podcasts. So I will sit down at the beginning of the month and I will record 5 to 6 podcasts. And I will create the photo image for it. I will create the podcast blog that comes out. I will create the podcast email that comes out. Everything related to the podcast, I will create at the beginning of the month for about 2/3 or a little more of the podcasts. Then that will be my audio content. Then if I go live on Facebook and it was a good live, then I will convert that into an audio and I will fill that in the gaps. So maybe there's 2 of those. So usually there's more than 2 of those. So let's say I do my audio, I do 4 of them. Okay, 4 audios at the beginning of the month. And then for my live video, I'd say I'm doing 2 to 3 of those. So that's 8 podcasts. And then I might have 2 extras just as a backup or whatever. And those podcasts can be done as an audio file on the spur of the moment. So I like to sometimes leave some gaps. So if something happened to me yesterday and I want to talk about it on a podcast that's time sensitive, I have the ability to record that podcast and push it out to go, jump the line from some of the other podcasts, maybe be something I put out at the end of this week as opposed to 3 weeks from now. So I like to mix it up a little bit. That way I'm structured, I'm scheduled, and I'm also flexible. I know that life happens. I know that sometimes things change. Maybe I want to talk about something that is, going on in the news and it's really important to talk about now, whatever the case may be. And I encourage you to do that with your own content as well. Be structured, be scheduled, be disciplined, be consistent, but allow yourself some flexibility and leave some gaps to put in some timely content as well. So this is the way that we schedule the podcasts here in Meliss Marketing. And also we lay out which podcasts we want to come out when and when they're due by using a Trello board, my favorite app in the whole wide world. I love Trello. I use it for everything. I use it to keep track of my clients' accounts. I use it to keep track of processes and systems that we use in Meliss Marketing with all of my team. I use it for personal use. I use it for even when I'm stage managing a local show, which I do sometimes. And I have a Trello board for that as well. So I have a Trello board for me planning for this bar mitzvah that I'm about to have for my son. So Trello is amazing. If you haven't used it, try it out. And that's how we figure out the content schedule for the podcast. And that's how we schedule out our podcast. So I hope this helps with your content, your regular content, or if you yourself have a podcast. And I'll talk to you soon. If you loved this episode, head over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review so we can reach more people and share our content with those that can benefit most.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast at www.marketingtipswithmeliss.com.
Oh, wait, before you go, if you think you'd like to work with the Meliss Marketing team one-on-one, I invite you to apply for your first class strategy call. This process is just as much an interview for us, seeing if you're a great fit for our agency, as it is for you, seeing if we are your great fit. Unlike other agencies, we only take on clients we know we can help. So if you think you're ready to get support with your content creation, lead magnets, sales funnels, and/or Facebook ads, let our agency help you take your business to the next level. Each month, we open up just a few spaces on our client roster for your opportunity to be able to work with our amazing team. Apply now at go.melissmarketing.com/apply, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.